मैं ही हूँ तेरी दीदी. बोल क्या बोल रही है? मारूंगी सदा. भूल गई मैं क्या कह रही थी. पागल है बच्चे. Hallo, Guten Tag und konnichiwa. Ich bin Avantika and welcome back to my channel. So basically in this video we are going to discuss how to learn any language faster and from scratch. So without any further delay, let's continue. So basically I have divided this video into few steps, and if you will follow those steps you will be able to achieve your goals. But of course, how can I forget? Disclaimer. So if you're thinking you can learn a language in like 6 months or maybe 5 months or maybe 4 months, that is completely cap. And the truth is that you need to give at least 8 months or maybe 10 months or year or 2-3 years to a particular language if it falls under difficult language. I'm talking about Japanese, Chinese or maybe Arabic. So please keep that in mind, and let's go and jump to our first step, which is obviously script learning. So you need to learn that script, and I'll take one example. For katakana and hiragana I took around 8 to 10 days. I printed out few worksheets and did that, but it's not really compulsory. You should actually pay attention to the sound firstly, because you need to get used to that language, and that's pretty much the first step you need to do. And if you are learning a language which does not ask you to learn that particular script, then you can jump to the next step, which is phonetics. And for that you need to learn, write and analyze few words which you can actually reference with your phonetics. Suppose I'll give an example of German. So basically when I started learning German phonetics, what I did is I wrote those words down. Like if there is a word like Schönheit, then I would write H-E-I-T. And if you know German, then E plus I makes I. So I did that, and I tried to differentiate it with other sounds. It's like ow or E, and it did made a lot of difference, and I could really catch it much easier. So why it is important to learn phonetics? Because you can really improve your speaking, and if your speaking is good, then you are confident. Simple funda. Now your step 3 will be daily life vocab. This is a very diverse topic, but what do you need to do? You need to first write your whole routine, and then you need to find the verbs, the nouns, and then using a dictionary translate them. Repeat the same process for a month and you will be surprised to actually collect a lot of vocabulary. For example, if you are commuting to work or if you are going to your school or college, you can always write those verbs or nouns down. And speaking of writing that down, we are coming to our next step, which is sentence formation. So when you are done writing those verbs or nouns down, you need to form a sentence, and for that you need to know the sentence structure or the sentence formation techniques for that particular language. After this, you can get a reference book by which you are able to study, which you can actually follow for your grammar, and do not forget to use that grammar in daily life sentences, and also start reading effectively. Mark that grammar in your course book or whenever you write a paragraph. This process should take you around a month, but if you are kind of lazy, might take you around 2 months. But honestly, that's not a bad thing. Keep hustling. You can actually read some short stories. I read Kafi and Balin and one from Alex Rawlings, and other few stories in my own course, and yeah, it really helped me. So the next step is listening, and by listening I meant real life listening, because sometimes whenever you are trying to listen from a course book, their so-called recordings are based only for that particular proficiency level and might not match the native level. So I would really recommend you guys to go on italki or any other platform and maybe try to find people who are learning that language and are interested to help you, or maybe you find a native person who can talk to you. But if you are not getting any person, the best thing I personally would recommend is to stand before a mirror and talk to yourself. I know it's kind of funny, but I personally did it for myself unless I found a person to talk to. Next step is quite easy. You need to find an institute like Goethe Institute, which is practically responsible for giving you proficiency exams and then a certificate. It will not only give you that confidence but also will give you that certificate, and then you can jump to your next level, which is intermediate. So when you are at intermediate level, you need to do two things. You need to first learn how to connect sentences that you have learned, and then learn situation based vocabulary. For example, you got stuck in a traffic. What would you say? Or maybe you had an accident, or someone you know had an accident. Then how would you react to it? Or maybe you got late for a meeting. You can also learn how to give compliments, or maybe flirting. Then you need to repeat a step, which is writing paragraphs, and how to connect those paragraphs and making a big essay. Your last step for intermediate learning will be collecting vocabulary, and it can be from a lot of sources. It's like watching movies, series, podcasts, and actually giving an intermediate exam. Now after getting a green check, the next step will be getting ready for advanced level. Depending on the language, it will be your 5th month or 6th month. So to effectively collect vocabulary, you need to write interpretations, or maybe your reviews, or maybe compliments in a diary for yourself. And on internet you can find a lot of people who actually teach that language and get it checked. On advanced level, repeat the same process and start watching news articles online, or maybe you can read them and maybe reading novels. But if you're not into novels, please refer to your favorite genre, and you are done. So basically it will take you around 3 months or 4 months depending on the language again. So guys, that's it. And if you have any question regarding languages and how to manage them, and you can always write to me in the comment section below, or you can follow my socials, which is given in the description box. Danke schön, bis dann, tschüss.